welcome to the Heikadelic Show. We would like to take this moment to let you know that viewer and listener discretion is strongly advised. So sit back, have yourself a nice cool drink or hot drink, and enjoy the show. And welcome once again to the Heikadelic Show.
Aha!
Whoa!
Love it. It is a new day of the new week of our new year. Everybody, welcome to the Heikadelic Show.
That sounded like a Michael Bublé song. It's a new day. It's a new life.
I must take a call.
Nice.
Oh, hey, Mel. Happy
Welcome,
New Year.
fans. Welcome, co-hosts. How is everybody?
It's the government.
Oh, wait. It wasn't last year New Year? Wait, we already got our New Year's in, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
I already said Happy New Year. But anyway,
Yeah, you
hi,
did.
Mel.
Hey, George, let's get things off to a good start. What do you think?
I think that's an absolutely spiffing idea. I think it's absolutely spiffing.
Cat hair. Because I got the long haired on my lap tonight, and she's shedding. Well, it's a cat. You pat it, and it sticks to you.
So you got pussy hair in your mouth again?
No.
Yeah, black and white, salt and pepper pussy hair
Jeez.
from my ditch.
Here
cat.
we go.
I'm gonna set the bar for tonight.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
Here we go.
Let's. It's 9:30. That's it. Let's get dirty.
So how was everyone's week?
Melanie
Good.
Boone.
Good. Went for an eye
Wow.
test today, an eye exam, whatever.
Melanie gets
All
in
right.
before Sandra. Wow.
Oh, that doesn't normally happen.
No.
How'd it go, Melanie? You did it.
Is Melanie
Sandra, you're
new?
slacking.
I got to go back here for a second here.
Well, Melanie throws some pretty big parties, so she's used to being on the ball.
I know.
Yeah?
But has she been on the show before?
Who, Mel? No,
Yeah.
no. We should have them on one day. We could talk about their big party. They're the guys
like
that I was
she's on
talking
right
about.
now.
Huh?
She's on right now.
She is. But Bannock Shack out in Roblin Mel and Joe are.
Did they make Bannock bread?
They can make you Bannock bread.
So okay,
Nice.
you know what? Let's. So what does Bannock mean?
Well, I that would be a question that we would have to ask them.
Well, I don't know. Where's Melanie?
It's
What does Bannock mean?
Yeah,
I
Melanie.
mean, I've
here we
made
go.
Bannock bread. Like
What? How did you come up with the name Bannock Shack? So I do know there's Neil, and I think he's the originator of having the party, or I don't know. I just know Neil's the old guy, and he's awesome.
Wow.
Oh, it's native.
The old guy's awesome.
Yeah,
we have Richard. Good evening to everyone on the Heikadelic Nation. Wow.
I just had a cat fight on my leg.
I heard that, and I just thought I didn't know what quite that sound was. Thanks, Richard. It's good to see you too.
Junior's on. Hey, buddy.
Wow,
Hey,
Junior's
Junior,
on
hey,
too.
You can listen to Junior on Indie Rock Radio on Fridays
Yes,
between
Friday
7 and
nights.
8.
Yep.
Made in
You know,
Canada.
It's funny. I bought this thing called an Oculus. It's the
Yeah.
headset thing.
My son's got one. Yeah,
I didn't buy
We
it.
could
to
be
watch
friends.
porn, though. What's that?
we could be friends and play games together. And
Let's do it. Let's do it because I'm totally a newbie with it. But I've seen things I haven't like. I mean, it just the roller coasters and all of that. It's like this 360 view.
Uh-huh.
But it's
VR.
like when you go into the Netflix thing, right? You're sitting in a theater with a big
Yeah.
Netflix screen in front of you. It's amazing. So I ended up, I don't know how I did it. I was trying to figure out how to just, Google stuff or whatever. But all of a
Right.
sudden, the screen comes up, and there's people in it. It felt like I was in the room, right?
Yep.
And yeah, it was really weird because this one person is standing like right next to me, and I'm at home just sitting in a chair trying this thing out.
Did you turn and talk to them?
Well, no,
Or
like
give them
no,
a smack or something, or kick them
no,
and just see
I
what
wasn't
happens?
really logged in. I think it was a preview thing or something. But
Uh-huh.
the guy, it wasn't like, virtual for Grinder or anything, but like there was a guy, like it was like a virtual chat, like a bunch of people, right?
Yeah.
They weren't avatars though. They weren't avatars. They were actual people. So I don't know how they pull that off. But of course, if I'm anything to them, I'm an avatar because I just have my goggles on. I don't have like a camera. Anyway, So the guy is like really close, and I swear, like he moves his elbow, and I felt it. Like it tricks your brain.
Oh yeah.
Like really. So then I'm thinking, okay, so where do I find virtual porn? But anyway, no.
Well,
I think
when I have my sons on, I have one for the PlayStation, right? And then I put my son's Oculus on, and he has this one game where you climb and you swing and stuff. And all of a sudden, I was like, man, I don't feel like playing video games, and I got a bit of a headache, and I feel nauseous, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I'm car sick.
Yeah.
Right.
And
it's actually very, very common with those things. A lot of people have trouble wearing them.
That's why
my PlayStation one, I don't get sick from it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I have like a virtual, like I have a car game that is on it, and I play it, and it's literally a simulator. Like I look left, right. There's my hand. I can shift gears, do whatever.
Right. And that's the PlayStation one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other one might be a little bit more tuned to the senses.
Because it is totally 360, right? Like it's when you have a circle that you go in, you literally look at the ground and you make a circle, and you're in that circle. You go to the boundaries, and it lets you know. My son almost broke his finger punching stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, and you don't even think about it, and he punches a wall.
Well, there was this one thing I called it was some kind of like a face your fears, I think it's called. So it starts off, and at this point I'm lying in my bed because I was going to watch a movie, but I thought I'll try one of these apps out. So it starts off, I'm in a bedroom, like, and there's like, it's like I'm a little kid, right? And I look down to where my feet should be, and I'm lying in my own bed. And now I'm lying in this virtual bed. It's the freakiest thing ever. So I'm looking over the side.
What did you get this thing for? Now you're talking about in bed. I was in the shower with my Oculus.
No, my daughter's boyfriend has something for his gaming, right? And I've never tried it out. He said it's pretty awesome. But that's a whole other story, which is interesting. I was saying,
and they do have that. They've got virtual. Like Pornhub's got its own section of virtual like stuff for that. Like
really? No, honestly, I was joking, but I hadn't tried that yet. But no,
They'll be doing it tonight, right after the show, folks.
So no, I had a little something for the how was your week part. But you know what? We should get right into George's backside.
Oh, really?
First, you talk about porn, and now you're talking about George's backside.
Hey, your buddy Murph's on there, Hike.
Who?
Murph.
Canada. Hey.
Nice.
Yeah. You're still not allowed in the pickled egg section at Aurelia Costco?
Uh-oh.
I don't know what he's dialing in from, maybe YouTube or something.
Yeah, it's YouTube.
Yeah, it was YouTube.
We got a lot of subscribers now, like new subscribers, I think about 40 on YouTube since we had the flat earth discussion. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. And we will do that again, folks.
Yeah.
Heiko's banned from Costco in Aurelia. Yeah, no kidding.
I think Murph is banned from Facebook, right? Because he used to be on Facebook with us. Anyway, Georgie, let's see what's up, bud.
It's an easy one this week. Real easy. So don't all shout at once.
All right.
Right.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh, it's
Can't
got
see.
crabs on it.
Any
A
ideas?
couple of beers and
not
some
a
crabs.
clue.
Yellow submarine. The base.
Yellow submarine. There's nothing
Well,
yellow on this.
No, but there's crabs, right? Everybody in the Beatles had crabs, didn't they?
One
Of
time
course
or
they
another.
did.
No.
What the heck?
Huh.
No, I don't
Don't know, buddy.
I thought you get it really quickly,
Nope.
actually. Anybody out there in Heiko land?
GG. Hey,
Couples
Happy
that-
New Year's.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Huh. No idea.
Okay.
Nope.
Oh,
We're
wow,
getting there.
okay.
And
Bring
you thought it was going to be easy.
I thought it was dead easy, yeah. Okay.
Okay, fans. Come on. Some of you out there know who it is.
I
Murph
bet,
saying
I bet
that-
Junior will know it. I bet it's in his collection.
Yeah, nobody's guessing it. So
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. We'll
I'm trying
we'll
to
come
think
back
who
to
these
that
guys-
later
is it-
then.
When,
Yeah,
when's
yeah,
it from?
for sure.
Is it like 60s?
70, mid 70s, 70,
Mid 70s.
70.
solo artist or group, Sandra's
It's a group, a band.
Pink Floyd?
with crabs.
Pink
No,
Floyd.
Pink Floyd. No, it
Pink
wouldn't
Floyd.
be. No, it's not.
Pink Floyd has
So-
got pigs.
Oh, who? Yeah,
Electric Light Orchestra.
ELO always crop up, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about crabs.
Well, of course.
From the 70s.
Good shot, though.
Mid 70s.
Junior, you got this one or what?
I don't know. I haven't seen
Wait a
it.
second.
You know what? I think somebody should really just. We're gonna try and cheat the system next time.
Are we?
Uh-oh. You mean you don't already?
No, I don't. Of course not. You mean like it wouldn't matter if I tried to surf because, but
It's a
a neat
group,
thing would it
Sandra.
be
It's a group.
The band. Sandra says the band.
the band.
The band.
Yeah.
Let's see what the.
Wop wop.
Can we see it again, George?
Yeah.
Can you hold it up to the screen just a little bit more?
Just a little bit more.
Okay, so it's got. I'm trying to figure out that animal at the bottom. Oh wow, there's several.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there's like a
there's
looks like a
crab.
wolf with a crown and a crab.
Yeah, the crown. There's like a lion.
Wasn't there a
There's two
band
lions.
called Zodiac?
Zodiac. I don't know. There might have been.
We got Duran Duran and Rolling Stones thrown out there.
Duran Duran? No.
That's way too early for Duran Duran.
Duran Duran weren't releasing albums in the mid 70s.
No. Yeah, Murph. Come on, Murph.
Nice try, Murph.
Rolling Stones.
He's digging.
Are they a big band?
They were.
They were a big band. Led
Mhm.
Zeppelin?
Led Zeppelin. Not quite.
Supertramp.
Yeah,
Super-
Supertramp. That's a good one.
Supertramp.
Are they American?
No, they're British.
They are British.
They're very British.
The British
Very British band.
hmm
Mid 70s. Clash?
The Clash. No.
Wow.
Yep, British
Hmm.
band. Blood Rock Sausage.
Blood
There
Rock
you go.
Sausage. Are they British?
I think they're international.
Have we ever figured out where they're from?
Blood Rock Sausage from
A
Stapleton.
band that's not
Oh, they sound like they're
Zeppelin.
from Woking. Yeah, okay.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
no idea, bud.
All right.
Queen?
Okay. I'll ask
It's
some
not
more.
a funny
That's
Queen
more
album that nobody
questions.
knows, is it?
Pardon?
It's not Queen, is it?
Is it Queen? Let's see what the buzzer says. Oh, I love doing this.
It is Queen. Oh my goodness.
Nice, nice.
A Day at the Races, the one that followed up A Night at the Opera that had Bohemian Rhapsody on it.
Ah,
Oh,
I guess that's why you thought it was going to be easy.
Yeah, yeah. And you can't get more British than Queen.
No,
can you?
that's kind of what gave it away, right? I was kind of like,
Is that- Oh, should I save that for later on?
yeah. Well, Queen, British,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I should have held that one back. Let it run.
So, Hike, you got any word definitions for us this week?
Word definitions.
Not word definitions. Sorry, the origin of a word.
All right.
Well,
right.
it's not the origin of a word. It's sayings, right?
Okay.
You've heard of the one, cat has your tongue?
Yes.
Cat's got your tongue? You've heard of that, right?
Yeah, Kathy should be on because her cat gets her tongue all the time.
Yeah. And that's actually came from ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
And that's where liars and blasphemers, their tongues were cut out and fed to the cats.
Nice.
And that's actual fact. Yes. So that's where the saying it came from. Cat's got your tongue.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a good one. I like that.
I just thought cat's got your tongue means you can't talk, but yeah.
Well, you can't because you don't have it anymore.
That's right.
The cat's have eaten it.
That one Saved by the Bell, that was a super cool one.
Yeah.
People that are not dead but in coffins get to ring the bell.
Yeah. Well, there was back in the day they didn't have the medicine that we have now, so a lot of graves were robbed because people put their jewelry and precious things along with the dead person, right?
Yeah.
And when they started, digging up coffins and stuff like that, it became noticed that a lot of them had claw marks on the inside.
Nice.
And then they seen the people in the coffin had wood chips and shit under their fingernails because they were actually alive.
Trying to get it.
So they were like comas and stuff like that, not quite out of it. So
in
what
England,
they did is they had a hole in the coffin and a tube that went up to the surface, up on the grass. And what they did is they tied a string to your big toe.
Yeah.
And then what they did is they had a little bell that was above the ground. So if somebody actually came back to life or snapped out of their coma or something like that, you would hear the bell ringing, right?
Now, what if the person was paralyzed from the waist down?
I was just thinking that.
Well, they had to start somewhere, right? So they went for the big toe.
Yeah.
And
well, you'd be able to wiggle your body, maybe your toe would move too.
Yeah. And if you were the person that was walking around the cemetery at night, you were doing the midnight shift.
Right.
Graveyard shift, yeah.
Yeah.
The graveyard shift.
The graveyard shift. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then the people that would actually come back and ring the bell, they were called dead ringers.
Dead ringers, right? Just
That's
kind of
what
like
that
the poster I have behind me with how to survive a zombie attack.
Oh. Every home should have one, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not too bored, we can run through this list here.
Absolutely.
Well, and there's one more saying that comes from that same thing, is people that did ring the bell, and they dug them up, they were saved by the bell. That's where that saying came from.
Yep.
So was
Saved by the Bell?
Wasn't
Saved by the Bell
after school series with?
Yeah, actually it was.
Zach Efron and whoever it was.
Someone,
I
Saved by the Bell.
That, actually.
The geek, the geeky guy with the puffy hair ended up being the teacher in part 2.
Oh yeah. Don't know.
Yeah, me either.
Wasn't my thing. I mean, when that show everybody would talk about it at school. I think was I in high school or college? I can't remember. So long ago.
Oh.
Yeah, I just couldn't relate. That and soap operas just wasn't for me.
No.
So, but this zombie attack thing, it's kind of interesting. I threw it up there because I felt like it. But
so what's a good point there? What's a good hint?
I'm just looking at it.
Every home should have one for sure.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Here's one. If my mom's listening, it says.
I hope so, because that's why I'm on.
Well, of course. She's so rule number 4, your mom, trust no one, not even your mom.
Oh,
even if your friends think she's hot, George. So
Wow.
boobies are good. Set up a booby trap as a warning.
okay,
Hook wires, rattling cans are a good idea.
right.
Huh.
Wow.
Rattling cans
I
will keep
agree.
zombies
I
away.
think booby traps are good. I've been caught in a few.
Yes.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, lucky man.
You know,
Did
when
you
you're looking,
motorboat
you're
your
like,
way
oh,
out?
I've been caught. That's a booby trap.
And it took you 3 hours before you shouted for help after you got trapped. Yeah.
So Junior is saying a shout out to my Jade.
Hi, Jade.
Oh.
Hey Jade.
How are you?
Hey, Jade.
How's it over there in Midland?
Wow.
I saw pictures today. You guys got a little bit of snow. I saw some people
Yep.
snowmobiling out on the bay, and 4 days ago there was water. So let's hope they make it.
Yeah. They're the ones that aren't that
I don't know,
smart.
do any of you guys snowmobile? Because
Yeah.
snowmobile. I worked at
I do.
a skidoo place,
Yep.
and they sell the watercrafts and the snowmobiles, right? So
Yes.
I thought the watercraft guys were going to be the snobs and the dickheads and stuff, but no, it's the snowmobile guys. Because like these guys are like, I want it right now. I want it fixed like yesterday because I've got 2 weeks to ride and I just spent $24,000 on a sled.
Yeah. Well, have you noticed it's coming close to the middle of January, and we're just starting to get snow now, and it just started getting cold.
Yeah.
So the seasons for snowmobiling are getting shorter and shorter and shorter.
Well, that's because
So yeah, the guys
on a
are
flat
anal,
spin-
right? They want to get on their sled. If you got a boat or a Sea-Doo, shit, you got 8 months, no big deal, right?
Yeah,
No, I agree totally.
like
Yeah.
if you're in northern Ontario, they've got snow now. Everybody has a sled. I owned I think 3 of them all at once.
Yeah, I
had
got 3 now.
Oh, do you really? What do you
Yeah.
have? Right?
I got a Phaser 2.
Oh,
And
no way. That's
Yeah.
like one of my favorite sleds. I love them.
I know they got the big knees on the front.
Yeah.
The knuckles. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
And
I like the steering with the light up top.
that's so smart. I don't know why other sleds don't do that. Even the new ones don't do that.
Yeah.
That was the best. You go around the corner and the headlight turns. It's fucking
Yeah,
awesome.
you can have a look.
Yeah. Articat Prowler.
Yep.
It's an older sled.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I got a Skidoo. I don't know what the hell it's called. It's a trail sled. It's got the big 2-up seat, long track.
Oh, that's what is it now?
I don't know what they're called.
Deluxe. There could be a million different.
No,
names.
it's
It's
a
a
something
skid.
trail though, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a Skidoo.
Those are nice.
Yeah.
They're comfortable, right? With the up
Yep.
seat on the back, and you can pretty much go anywhere with them because of the long track.
Well, and the fun thing is I leave my house here and I go to the cottage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, which is 5 minutes away,
Yeah, just bomb down the road, boom across the lake. Ta-da!
and you're there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm gonna take this zombie poster off because it's very distracting.
Oh, I thought you were
see
just going to
zombie-
give us a better look at it.
Oh, you want to look at it? Here we go.
Rule 13.
Beware of
It's my front
bush.
side. It's my
What
front
is it?
side.
Why should you be beware of bush?
Bush.
Rule
Why
number
should you wear a
11.
bush? I don't know.
Yeah.
Rule number 11. Hang on a second.
11, top right. There it is.
Beware of bush. Stay clear of bushes and shrubbery in general.
Oh,
How
He's
about
so-
number 3?
he's
Number
so-
3 said knock
so
knock.
good to
What's
go
that?
near Shrubbery. Or
Hey?
stay clear of skullduggery as well.
Ringo, what's
Oh,
number
good.
3?
Look at number 3.
Skullduggery.
It says knock knock.
He says, knock, knock.
who's there?
A zombie.
Zombie who?
Be sure to create a strong entry and exit door. Barricade all doors and windows. So
Ah.
that was the knock
Right.
knock joke.
Gotcha,
Knock, knock. Who's
gotcha.
there? A zombie, right? Yeah, you know what? There's some pretty good.
That's
I
good
like this
advice.
one. I like this one here. It's
I'm going to avoid
make
bush
sure-
and shrubbery.
You play video games, right, Derek? Just make sure it's a headshot. It's all good.
There's one here that Heiko, it reminds me of Heiko. Rule number 12, stagger and drool.
Yeah. Oh,
I'll do that already.
Learn to stagger.
Do that every day.
Lumber and drool make zombies think you're one of them. Just pretend you're.
I'm all right then.
Heiko from the Heikadelic show.
There we go.
Heiko, your phasar too. Is it the red and white?
It's black.
It's black. Oh, okay.
It's black on black.
Yeah.
I know the one you mean. The red and white one. They look really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Was it the Enticer that also had the
headlight
up top too?
Yep.
Right.
There's the Enticer and the Exciter, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why Yamaha came out with that, and now everybody stopped. And it's such a freaking great idea.
Yeah.
Like you could even be sitting still, and you could just turn your handlebars, and you can look this way and that way. It's, I don't know.
Well, I know, like some of the lighting kits on the sleds that they were selling. It's a night and day. You turn these on, and you don't need it because it's like sun out, right?
Yeah. But so you can't ride in a group with those sleds, because the guy in front of you always the back of his neck gets burnt, so it's no good.
Junior's talking about Ringo bring up April Fool's sled. They're friends on water with sleds on Georgian Bay. I used to sled up that way. Actually, just to take a step back, I had 3 sleds. I had a Arctic Cat Z, and I had 28 inches of travel on the back, so I had it all modified and everything with cleats. So that was a little racing machine. Then I had a Formula 3, which I clocked 107 miles an hour on Whitewater Lake.
Nice.
And then I had a VMAX triple. So I had those all, I just kind of like, okay, 1, 2, or 3. So, and then one day I blew up my Formula.
Mm-hmm.
Middle
and it was the funniest thing. That thing, like I said, clocked 107. I'm out in the backyard, just going like literally 5 kilometers to get on the trail, and it died. So my oil pump kicked out, right? So anyway, but love sledding. But what Junior's talking about here, it's interesting. Like I'd never recommend this. Don't do it because it's stupid. But as you get up north,
puddle jumping.
Yeah. Been there, done it.
Yep.
I'm trying to think now.
I know a guy who went for the world record for it. His hardest thing was like he was going out and did circles, right? I guess it was a Simcoe, and he's going around an island. And the hardest thing was to get the Sea-Doo to come up behind him to refuel, right? Because he didn't want to get too much wake because he has to slow down so he can actually refuel with them, right?
Yeah. There's a place up in Onaping, Ontario, which is just north of Sudbury, where the mines are and everything. There's a little place called Dog Patch, and it's just you blink, you miss it. A couple of homes there, but there's where the river comes through, there's an island. So what they do is they'll go down, and it's not very deep, it's maybe a few feet deep, but they'll go down there with their sleds, and guys in wetsuits will water ski behind the snowmobile. Cliff Murph, if you're still on, buddy, you can probably remember that if you ever got out of the outskirts of Sudbury. But that was pretty impressive to watch. But on the bigger waters, like I know at Lake Cushog Lake up by Cobeconk or past Cobeconk, people were doing it up there at the bridge, because under the bridge it doesn't really ice up that well, and people were running. The problem with it is, I guess, good for the towing companies, because what they would do is they back up right to the bridge, and they'd have their hook, and they charge, I think it was $100 to pull your sled out. But then they had a diver there waiting to go down. Very dangerous, though. Like I said, I don't recommend it. I've run ice water before, but kind of an emergency because it broke out behind, and then I was hitting on a gray area of what I thought was just slush, but was open water. So, and you don't want to stop, right? So
Yeah, well, that's different too. You got a puddle. I was out there one day with my brother. We're snowmobiling on the north end of Rice Lake,
yeah,
and if you know the lake at all, there's a river that comes in on the north end.
yep,
That I was there, and I saw the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Is that river runs pretty quick,
yeah,
and we went up through the marsh up to the base part of the river where it gets narrow, and guys were taking turns bombing up the river, and there was big patches of open water,
yeah,
and you could see it wasn't white water, but the water had some speed to it.
yeah,
So if you went through there, you're dead. You go
yeah,
down, you go under the ice, and it washes you out to the lake, and that's it. But these guys were running up the river there.
yeah.
Unfreaking believable.
Well, and when the liquid cooled machines came in, you'd see people running like as the lake was freezing or thawing out. You'd
Yeah,
see people running the shorelines and stuff like that. But
yeah, that's different. If you go through, no big deal, right?
yeah, I mean it's on the shore, but it's very dangerous. In fact, I'd never, although I've done it, I'd never advocate crazy high speeds either because we used to drag to the point where like high speeds, if you hit a pressure crack, it'll
Yeah,
tear your skis right off and do some
Yep.
Take
damage.
your skis
So,
off. Oh. Well, in Port Perry, they used to do the drags there, and I guess one of there was an officer who was using a radar, and he got hit.
yeah,
I remember there was a big thing about that because he was using police equipment for radaring sleds on the lake.
yeah,
yeah. Well, I mean the police used to come out and actually, kind of participate. But it was kind of a controlled thing. It was usually before a carnival or something like that. But
yeah.
yeah, they'd use the radar guns, and that's how I knew how fast mine was clocked at, right?
Yeah,
But
my neighbor went out there, and he had just got his sled all serviced up. He was heading up to the cottage.
yeah,
Everybody was up at the cottage for, I think it was just after Christmas, and he knows that they have the race there. They have
yeah,
and they clock them and stuff. So he thought, I'm just going to stop here and see how fast my sled is on the way up to the cottage. So he did it, and while they were running up the lake, some drunk guys were going the other way and smoked them.
wow,
Never made it to the cottage.
yeah. You
Yeah.
know what? And speaking of accidents, just to little public safety messages. It is starting to snow, but the ground is interesting because some of it's freezing, thawing. So you're going to
Yep.
get black ice effect. And I saw a terrible accident, and somebody got T-bone sliding through an intersection, right? So it was definitely not a good night for them. But there's a lot of near misses happening. In fact, I've got a bit of a drive home tonight because I'm up at the office, but I brought my BMW, which has got low profile tires, so I suspect I might be skating home.
Just drop over to the Cloverleaf there, grab a room.
There you go. Now you're thinking.
Aha.
I could sleep down at the LZ here.
There you go.
I've got my dog's bed I can use as a pillow.
Yeah, and you've got your little survival fridge there with some drinks in it.
You know what? I have survival rations here. I'm all set. I could set up my tent.
You're good to go, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. But
set your camp up in front of the green screen, and you can run some cool shit in the background, and you can do a video.
I don't know when I said the word tent. What flashed through my mind was when Derek was talking about passing stones. So his stone story.
Wow.
Yeah,
How'd you go from tent to that?
Well, when he was talking about, what he was talking about, which I think was
coming up?
May the 28th.
Wow. There's one.
Wow, what
Yeah.
happened there?
I don't know.
Wow.
Heiko, I have to address the
Everybody
elephant in the
disappeared.
room. I have to address the elephant in the room there. The Christmas tree is still up.
It will be up till Easter.
Oh, okay.
George, I've got my Christmas tree up. I leave it up till end of January at least.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was supposed to be bad luck.
And then
Why?
I think Heiko,
I don't know. I just thought that's supposed to bring bad luck.
break the rules, my friend. Just,
Uh-huh.
Mine
There's
goes
no
down
bad
to
luck.
Boxing
There's only-
Day.
There is no bad luck. Only
A friend of mine
stands.
has their Christmas tree up all year round,
Right.
Yeah.
and they just dress it up
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
different things that are happening in the month, and for soccer, and for
Yeah.
Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day. Yeah,
There's
but
a
it
lot of
never
trouble.
gets put away. Yeah,
I bought a crystal ball.
Oh yeah.
Quartz
Yeah.
crystal.
I bought a girl named Crystal a ball once too.
Right.
did she play with it?
Ball.
An 8-ball.
Yeah. Is that what you bought, Crystal?
Yeah,
8-ball?
yeah, she liked it. An 8-ball. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Oh,
Her
well,
name was
Crystal's
Candy
not
on
watching.
Sundays.
Oh,
Yeah.
Of course it was.
So I noticed Deborah popped in
Hi, Deborah.
very late, I might add. But
Yeah,
Deborah,
holy
glad to see
crap.
you on again. We made some wagers on who'd be first, and actually tonight
Ringo
It
lost
was-
because you had Deborah.
Was Melanie.
I was counting on you, Deb, but Melanie Boone was the
Yep.
first one on tonight.
Yeah,
And then
Shout out to the
Sandra-
Bannock Shack crew.
Sandra,
Great party.
Yep. Sandra,
oh, and I saw my buddy John is on. How you doing, pal?
So did you get your
Jonathan.
sled fixed?
Hey. Oh, he asked me if the sled's fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fixed, and the guy was
And then
running
broke
it.
again.
No, and the guy was running it, and the stator quit. So I'm waiting for a part now.
No
Darn
spark.
Staters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, it's good to talk about sleds because I miss it, but it was probably a good thing that when I came down south here, I sold all of them. Worked out
It's
that
a waste of money down here.
well,
Mhm.
a guy came over to look at the Arctic Cat, and then ended up buying all 3 machines. So it was a happy day for
Wow.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess so.
sold them all at once. I felt a little bad about it because I wanted to hang on to one, but glad I didn't because I went up to a buddy's cottage a few years ago. On Cushog Lake actually, and he said, "Hey, have you ever ridden a snow machine?" Oh,
No.
so his buddy was coming up with 2 of them. So they were, I think, Polarises. And so he goes, "Well, you're a big guy, so you maybe take the triple." So I hopped on the triple and put it right to the pin and never stopped. Just kept going. So
Yeah.
he was like, "Whoa, you've ridden before." But that's where we saw the crazy guys doing a short ice run, and either their skis would clip the because it's actually pretty deep under the bridge, and they'd either not make it across, but a very short patch too, right? So
Yeah.
Anyhow,
I remember we were out one day, and one of our buddies picked up a new sled, and he bought himself the 1100 Thundercat.
yep,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So we're all out on the lake, and he said, good place to try it. It's all flat and everything. But he says, make sure you're over 30, 35 miles an hour before you pin it. Otherwise, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I did that, right?
Mhm.
Got it up to 35, pinned it. And you know what? The thing stood right up, and the skis were doing this in the wind.
Yeah.
Just like that. It wouldn't come down. I had to actually back off, and it finally sat back down again. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Unbelievably got that much power in a sled.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's
I raced a Thundercat with my ZR, and which is an Arctic Cat as well. It's just not.
Yeah.
Gosh, I think it was about a 700 or something. But
Uh-huh.
I smoked it. But
Yeah.
I had tune ports on it and cleated track, oversized pistons, the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So, but lots of fun in those days.
I want to give just another shout out. Sorry, but Deborah. That's
Lockwood.
Neil's partner from the Bannock Shack, who's
Bannock Shack.
They are the biggins there.
Nice.
They are the Bannock Shack.
Why are we graced with the Bannock Shack crew tonight? Because we have
because I think they're friends of mine, and they're
follow
just
you
to support.
They love
How
you.
much do you pay them?
Yeah. Hey guys, come on and check out our.
Well, payment works at night after the concert, so.
Okay. It's good. Comes out of your paycheck. That's cool. You take some out of George's. He's offering up.
Melanie
says because
what's a paycheck? What's a paycheck?
What's a paycheck?
Exactly. What is a paycheck? It's kind of like being a DJ, George. But
it's how you get to the next show.
No, we do this for the love of, we've been doing this. Well, Hike's been doing it the longest. But
yeah, I've been doing this for a long freaking time.
Yeah, like I've been on it for 4 years, almost 5 years now, right?
Wow.
Holy, has it been that long?
And then and then George, what, 3? No,
not even 2 yet. It'd be
not
2
even 2.
Yeah, because what happened was Johnny Ringo came on with Terry. They were guests once in a while on my show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved having them on. They were great when they came in. And this is when we were still live in the studio. So we all sat around the table, right? We had our headsets on and everything. And it was a different environment, not like this.
Yeah.
And it was just audio, right?
Yep.
It was a lot of fun. We had a great time. And I talked to the boys one day, said, you guys should just come on more often. Like, why don't we just do this, right? Mm-hmm. And they did. They loved it. And we hit it off really good. And we were the first to go live on Facebook. Remember that, Johnny?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember like the first show we did, I think just after lockdown. I think we missed one. Or did we even miss one? I think we did a phone call. And then it was after that, like we had experimented with Facebook before. I think Terry used to bring in the old tablet and we kind of film. And then Mike Swain, we brought some technology and we started to film from the studio. Reality radio. Yeah,
it's funny. He called me. They asked me if I wanted all my old shows, and I go, "Yeah, sure." He says, "Well, you got to get like a 5 terabyte drive." And I go, "What?"
Who asked you that, Mike?
The files. Yeah, the files are so big. Like I don't. Yeah.
No, ours automatically go over to YouTube and obviously.
Yeah, but this was before that. This is stuff that he recorded on Facebook. Remember?
Yeah, and it's the technology's a bit better now because like with file compression. But I mean, I think on YouTube right now we definitely have 100. Last time I checked, we had 88 episodes. Right? That's just from probably.
Yep. Well, so that's 88 weeks. So that's, roughly a year and a half or whatever, right?
The Facebook, you guys have been doing it for 2 years, right?
Just over 2 years? Yeah. And then it was audio prior to that, right?
Yeah. No, because that's when I started watching and became the number one fan. And,
you were always guessing all the music trivia.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a picture.
Hey, bro.
YouTube. Sorry, YouTube.
He's on YouTube.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Hey, man.
Hey, nice to have you on, brother.
Oh, man.
Hey, oh, man. Do you ever talk to my buddy P-Man?
Somebody's hammered.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's funny because...
The O-Man gets the O's from the P-Man, right?
I think O-Man just checked.
P-Man gets the P's from the K-Man.
Ah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, man, it's too bad you don't have one of the cool guests because he wanted to see the one when we had the flat Earth guy on there. Dave. What was his name?
Dave Weiss.
Dave Weiss.
Dave Weiss. Yeah.
Well, it was great. Like, I mean, obviously, it's not for everyone, right? I'm, we got to get him back on because I still need to be convinced. He was I was almost 50% there. But then your buddy Heiko, what's his name, who used to work for a satellite
AJ.
company? AJ, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of cool because, he's saying, well, you know what, like I've launched 1 billion satellites. Okay, that's
Yeah.
extreme.
Yeah.
But, several hundred. And I would think if it was a flat Earth, you'd be plotting a pretty odd course, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
So he
yeah,
worked for a company that did that. They always launch satellites, and it's all live video.
yeah,
And he's kind of going, I don't believe this guy, right?
yeah,
But that's what makes the show cool, because you have two sides. But then what was
yeah,
weird too, we had Adrian on last show, and we mentioned that we had the flat Earth guy on, and she goes, "Oh yeah, the Earth is flat." I'm like, "What?"
yeah. I
Right?
know it was.
It's amazing how many people believe that.
But
Yeah.
as David was saying, he figures about 30% of the population believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I went on the app and it lights up like a Christmas tree. The flat
Yeah.
earthers are everywhere, right? It's almost like
Yep.
a zombie horde. But
Yeah, on that app, they can all find each other, right?
yeah, and it's it's a community. So whatever they believe, and to me, it's almost like a well, I don't want to put it in bad context, but it's almost cultish, right? Like you've got believable influencers, okay, not just Dave, but a bunch of different people who believe,
Yeah.
and then you sort of preach to the masses, and then people take what they want out of it and either follow the trend or not. But what's kind of cool about what he's got is he's got an app. They're making money from that app, no doubt.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like these dating apps, because where people are, right? And you can find like-minded individuals, right? So
Well, the thing that impressed me about him is we've had a lot of guests on our show, and of course, someone who's going to try and talk about flat Earth, you're going to ask them some questions that go, "Hey, buddy, like like I asked him, I said, you leave Canada, you head west in an airplane, you're going to show up on the east side in an airplane going in a straight line."
Mm-hmm.
And within seconds, he had a video up on the screen showing us how it really works.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he did that with everybody's questions. Boom, boom. Within seconds, he had something to show us.
Totally prepared to be.
It is his job, right? He quit his living to make a living doing this.
Well, yeah, but if you look at the number of followers, he's got 42,000 plus.
Yeah.
I don't know what the app contains, but he's getting his income off of that, plus if he's got 42,000, his YouTube channel is making money. Everything's making money.
He does
why not?
Podcast, right?
Yeah.
And it's
what? And honestly, if it's kind of like somebody said to me after that show, like, what are you guys about? And we get that a lot, right? And I said, well, we're a talk show, we're entertainment, we'll have whoever we have on. Well, and then the follow-up was like, why would you put somebody on when clearly the earth is round? And I said, is it though? Like, that's your opinion. We have our own opinions, right?
Ask him to prove it. Prove the earth is round.
I said, I'm sure our guest would love to have you on to try and disprove them, because, and at the end of the day, I guess for me, I said, look, doesn't really matter to me. We're kind of an open forum. We're trying to be open-minded, and we're going to have our own opinions, and that's fine.
Yep.
I said, but you know what? After that show, we had 2,000. During that show, we had 2,000 views on our YouTube. We had almost 1,000 on our Facebook, and then we had the Twitchers twitching, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't really care. I mean, it's not like
well, it's a conversation. You know what I mean?
Putting it out there, right? For
we
debate.
talk. That's what we do. It's interesting.
Well, but look at this too, guys. Like, the Earth has been here a long time. We've gone through decades and of all kinds of stuff. We've gone through wars. We've gone through this. We've done all this shit. And you know what? Does it really matter if it's round or flat?
Well, honestly,
we're going to be dead.
It doesn't matter.
We're just
It just doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. In the last 50 years, okay, we've been so fat eating the Big M that we've squashed the Earth to a flat
Yeah, we've made it flat. It used to be round a long time ago.
And now it's
If you
flat.
think about it, we are the only like the last.
And now
100
we all
years
got to
is the
watch. What's
only
her
people
name?
who said the Earth is round,
Yeah.
right? There for thousands of years before us, nobody's ever said the Earth was round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I went and watched these YouTube videos on sending up high altitude balloons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's this one guy who said Elon who, because they had put together a balloon that would pop the atmosphere, apparently, right?
Uh-huh.
It didn't. They can't, right? They'll explode before they do. But it was doing like this video, and it was pretty clear the Earth is round, but is it the aperture? You know, like, and I'm being devil's advocate on the flat earther side.
Yeah.
So I'm open to any possibility that can be maybe a little bit of theory and science and stuff like that. But at the end of it, like George, you said, physicists and stuff like that, what are they saying about it? That's an interesting point. We should find a physicist who believes the Earth is flat.
Just go talk to one of them, right?
Hey, is Bill Nye the science guy? Is he still alive?
Yeah, totally.
We could ask him.
Let's do it.
You think Bill Nye? You think he's going to come on? He might.
Maybe.
Why not?
We'll ask him. Never hurts to ask.
Hey, man, we had Junior. We had Junior on here, so a couple of times.
Yeah, I know. Like,
and then Dave, the flat earther, he's offered to come back, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's coming back, not to sell us his app and not to sell us his coffee table book. Brilliant. Love it.
I don't think, but his coffee table book, he said, look,
I'm not going to sell it to you. Don't buy it. And don't buy the app either. Great.
I look for his book.
It's like, it's like the old medicine shows, this. I'm not going to sell you one bottle. I'm going to sell you two for the price of half a bottle. It's like,
don't drink the milk.
I mean, it's very good. It's got a great act. Love it. Yeah.
Don't drink the milk. Why? It's spoiled. Yeah, like the what was it, Mr. Haney?
Yes.
Off of the Hillbillies.
Off the hill.
The banker.
TV guy.
Oh, yes. Mr. Drysdale.
Mr. Drysdale.
No. Oh wait, no. Okay, no. That Drysdale was on the Hillbillies, but who was Mr. Haney on? He was like a.
He's on. You know the one with Bubbles and Ricky and them.
Oh,
Trailer Park Boys.
That's
Mr. Leahy.
Oh, Leahy.
Yeah, we're going a little off track, but but back to Dave. I think.
What was his name?
What, Haney?
Haney. Mr. Haney.
Yeah, he used to sell stuff. But
Mr. Haney.
But anyway, in we're lightening it up a bit. But Dave and the Flat Earthers, I mean, they've got a compelling story. So, whether we believe it or not.
Green Acres is the place to be.
There you go. Green Acres.
Yeah. There you go. Wow, that's dating. Wow, that used to be a great show to watch. So,
because she was hot.
So we lost Bob Saget.
Yeah.
So
what happened there? Nobody knows.
He was found in a hotel room.
They're gonna know.
A comedian in a hotel room. Put two and two together.
Oh, okay.
He got his head stuck in the elevator door?
He OD'd.
No.
Yeah, I know. He did have substance abuse problems.
Oh, did he?
If you're dead in a hotel room and you're a comedian, a musician, an actor, either you got suicided or you OD'd.
Well, I wasn't planning on going that way. Like everything I say today seems to turn out like negative. Right?
Yeah.
No,
stop it.
I started this morning, and
I've never liked Bob Saget. He's actually just not a good human being. So
right.
Oh,
that was.
That's your opinion.
Wow, that was deep.
Totally.
No, I actually said, like he was
I'm not a fan, but I wouldn't go that far.
No, I thought he was a nice guy.
I like how you throw that out there, George.
Yeah,
that's your opinion, right?
Exactly, that's your opinion. But no, I thought he was a nice guy. I did not like when he was doing America's Funniest Videos or whatever it was. I thought his jokes were completely lame, but
yeah, but that's all written. That's all shit, right, for the network.
Exactly. It's all like we were talking about it earlier today, and I said, yeah, that those are writers. He's got to read what's in front of him, unlike the real good comedians of the world that just say, oh, to heck with that, I'm doing my own thing, right? So, but yeah, but you know what, too, it'd be like putting our show here on a primetime family network. It's probably not going to fly, right?
Yeah.
So,
wrong.
I can't imagine why.
Bob was always politically correct, and I thought he was a nice guy. But yeah, I just
sorry, I have to take back my statement there. I see Richard has put my foot in my mouth for me.
So old man got his booster on November 28th.
Medical examiner says no sign of drugs or foul play in autopsy. So he died of old age.
Yeah, but he wasn't old.
No, that's what I heard. I mean, because I wasn't following, at least follows the news all the time, but yeah, he apparently died in his sleep, and there's no drugs or nothing involved.
No, and you know what?
And he has a family history. He has two sisters that died early as well. One from a brain, something like that. Yeah. Two younger sisters died. Like,
do you know?
Wow.
I know three people now, not including Bob, that died in their sleep. I had.
Yeah, that's because they're sleeping on the wrong side of the pillow.
No. It just, healthy, and then wham. One very recently, maybe 2 months ago, but yeah, no explanation whatsoever. Who knows, right?
Well, I guess sometimes you just never know, and it's your time. It's your time, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of like
the best way to go, though, right? Best way to go if you can do it in your sleep.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So Derek,
I want to go at a gig. I want to, I'll be at a gig and the music will stop because it's got to the end
and
of the track.
And you just want to drop dead on the floor.
Go, Where's George? Where's George gone? And they look over they go, oh, there he is.
So so I'm getting this reoccurring phone call, and it probably, they claim they're from the government, which I know.
Can I just interrupt just before we go on to that, Ringo?
Yeah.
There was back in the 80s in England. There was a huge popular comedian called Tommy Cooper. He had TV shows and everything, right? And there was this thing called the London Palladium. It was like a big theatre, and they used to do these live shows from it on a Sunday night. And he was been on loads of times, and he was like top of the bill. And he actually died on stage, literally, right? And he just collapsed, and everyone thought it was part of his act.
Yeah.
And when everyone's like, okay, the audience is like, what's next, Tommy? And when he didn't start to move, suddenly, people are running around and close the curtain. So he literally died on stage, live on national television.
Heart attack.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's actually happened a few times. Stuff like that. Musicians and comedians.
Tomorrow will be the anniversary of my dad passing, who died 20 years ago, and he was out trying to save these. Well, it's ironic we were talking about snow machines. 2 snow machines with 2 kids on each hit head on out in front of his place on the lake. So he ran out, and one of the kids had died on impact, and the other one was dying. So he came back, got blankets and everything, and so anyway, he ended up taking the one kid that was dying. He was holding him, kneeling in the snow, holding the kid. It's a pretty sad story, but whatever. So he actually had a heart attack and died on the scene holding that kid.
Wow.
So the paramedic came over and earlier on and said to my dad, he's passed. And my dad said, well, look, I promised I wouldn't leave him out here, so I'm not going to just leave him in the snow until you guys are ready for him. So then I guess, with all the chaos, a police officer came over and put his hand on my dad's shoulder, and he says, "Okay, we're ready to take him." And my dad didn't respond, and he had a heart attack. So he died out in the snow. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you want to know something in an ironic way, or not ironic, I'm using the wrong word, but they had each other when they passed. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's true. And, I don't, even to this day, it kind of feels like yesterday, but one of the things, there was a lot of speculation on how that happened, right? Like, how do two snow machines hit head on? And so there's, speculation. There was a third snow machine I heard, and it looked like they might have, were they playing chicken because they hit head on? And one of the things to do was to block a lot of snow machines back then. They had single headlights, right? So, and again, I'm not advocating any of this stupidity because it gets people killed, but they were blocking out the headlights, and it was already dusk, right? So who knows? Just poor judgment, and they ended up, but head on. So I got there about 6 a.m. because this happened about, I think, 10 at night, 9 or 10 at night. And I got there and there was blood everywhere. Just crazy. It was a horrible scene. But no, you're right, Derek. I mean, there's like he definitely went out a hero, and he had told me he was on the lake that they lived on and everything. So he said, "Hey, I wanna be able to, when it's my time, I want to go quick, and I want to be out. I'd like to be out on the lake, right?" So he got all he wanted, and then I guess the hero part, he saved 2 kids, right? So but yeah, it took me.
Well, that's cool. Here's to your dad. Here's to your dad, buddy.
Yeah, for
cheers.
Sure.
Cheers.
Cheers. So anyway,
on that note, does anybody know a joke?
I'm not sad about it anymore, honestly. Like, because we've had discussions about a bit about the afterlife and ghosts and stuff like that, right? And I it's no news to anybody. I used to be on a ghost hunting team and saw a lot of stuff, recorded a lot of stuff, and it's pretty fascinating. And for those of you into that realm, I bought a crystal ball over the weekend, so I want to learn. Deanna, our favorite psychic, she's going to actually mentor me on it. So, but
nice.
But one of the things I find is that I've got a lot of my dad's tools and stuff like that in my garage. I love working in the garage, and then I'll get into a bit of a pinch where I'm trying to get something loosened up or whatever. I'll go to the tool cabinet, and lo and behold, there's something there I hadn't noticed before, and I'll pull it out. It's like I get the job done, right? So, so you get to a point where no matter what you believe or what your opinion is, I think those that pass, if you have a strong connection, you have it when they pass as well.
But that shit is so cool, and it's funny. I've heard other people talk about it, but I saw today, I was watching American Pickers.
Yeah.
And they're at this guy's place, and he was like the supreme collector. He had so much stuff, right?
Yeah.
And the wife's going to eventually move, but this entire house, each room had a theme in it. He actually had a train that went inside of his house that you could ride and everything.
Yeah.
So long story short, they're talking about one of his most favorite radios that he got. And the picker guy says, "Look, I'll be honest with you, these things in mint condition are worth like $6,500, right?" She's like, "Oh my God." And it was her husband's favorite radio. And she was willing to sell this to these guys. And they were honest. They were fair. They offered a good money for it. And, when they made the deal, there was one of those player pianos. It started up.
I saw
it just started playing, and the song it was playing was "Ghost in the House."
Yeah.
And it was everybody's just freaking out.
Yep.
That's probably set up.
No. They actually, I think they ran it around Halloween one time, but you know what? It was a player, right? Who knows?
Yep.
Who knows? I
Yep.
mean, there's some pretty freaky shit, and I can say that in my opinion, but not. This is through experiencing things, right? Like I was the guy on the team. Like I'll try anything, like just for fun, right?
Lick the pole.
I don't have I don't have much of a bucket list left, put it that way. But when I did the ghost hunt thing, it was all about the scientific element behind it. So I went out. I spent thousands of dollars. I bought night vision DVR, the ghost meters, the whole bit. So we did it up right. And
you still have all your equipment?
Got rid of the DVRs. I still have some of it, yeah, like the meters and stuff like that. But
cool.
There's a lot of, they're always trying new things out. Right now, there's this kind of bit of a laser infrared thing, but I just bought a scope actually for one of my guns that has. Can I see this out loud? Yeah, of course I can. It's got infrared and it's got night vision, right? Yeah. So I mean, they use that technology on a lot of these research shows. So, but it was a lot of fun, and I don't mind being scared. I'm the first one in, right?
Well, and what's cool, we have 2 spirits in our house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've talked to mediums about it, and they said, yeah, there's a young boy and an old man, his grandfather.
Yeah.
And they're here. We hear stuff, we see stuff, and they said, you are in the safest freaking house. They love the stuff that we're doing, like the renos. We're not changing anything. We're just fixing everything.
Yeah.
It's cool. So I can't say that I'm 100% into it, and I've seen this and this and this and this, but you feel stuff sometimes. You hear things sometimes, and I believe there is something there that people don't understand.
Yeah.
And that's why people like you and these ghost hunter guys go out and they try to prove it. They try and show people, yeah, there is something going on here, right? Mm-hmm. And then you go, it's TV, it's all made up, or some people believe it. So again, it's everybody's opinion and what you consider entertainment or fact or whatever, right?
I think one night I should get just bring a collection of the stuff that captured, like Ghost Road, which you guys have all heard about, right?
We want to go there to Ghost Road again.
Yeah. George, you know where that is, up by the casino, right?
No, I don't know. I haven't been there.
Well, we should do our own hunt over there.
Yes,
I did.
I was there years ago.
Yeah. I did a few. We did kind of almost a series, right? With there was Sean and I forget the girl's name. Anyway, we've gone up there with psychics, the whole gamut. But I got some interesting photos of. One was of. I mean. I almost, like, every time I throw it up, I say, what does this look like? I won't prompt, but it's the bike. It's the bike and the rider.
Right? Yeah.
To the point where you can count the spokes on the front wheel.
Oh, really? That's cool.
It's up in a tree level, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this thing it's all like mist, right? But I'm talking about transparent separation between the spokes. Like you can see the spokes, you can see the gas tank, you can see the rider. It's just
that's
amazing.
Cool.
See, I would love to see that. I've been to Ghost Road hundreds of times. That's where we used to party. Well, one of the places we used to party when we were younger, right?
And did you see anything weird?
I've seen the light. I know, like, the light that everybody talks about. It's in the middle of the field, basically, and it's a dot, right? The whole thing is you're supposed to pull up and honk the horn and flash your lights and then sit and wait. And you can only do it on a clear night.
Yeah.
Well, you know what'd be fun? Like if we did something like that, we can go out as a group and
that'd be great.
Shits and giggles, but I can say there that there's a lot going on over there, and you have to be there at the right time to be able to catch it. But what I also know is what was interesting for a while, I would go up. We have a little team up there. People would take pictures. They wouldn't get anything, right? But mine seemed to capture a lot of stuff. And then this is kind of how I met Deanna at one point, because she felt like I'm a natural medium, and I said, well, no, I'm more like a 2X. But but it was always something I didn't really want to explore too much on that side of the equation, because I also believe that you can open a door that might be hard to shut, right?
Yeah.
So, so at Ghost Road, there's this was pretty interesting because we did our own study. We heard the rumor about the decapitation of the rider and stuff like that, right? And there were a number of theories around that, like chopped his head off on the fence because there's a barbed wire fence there, which is kind of odd to me, but maybe it was all situated a little differently back then. The other thing was hit the fence and then smashed his head on the rock that says Ghost Road on it, right? And so there's a lot of different things, but
see, the only thing with hitting that rock,
right,
with the thing, like I've been trying to figure out the story where the origin came from too, right?
Yeah,
hitting that rock, the Ghost Road rock.
Yeah,
it's on the other side of the road.
Yep.
It's it's not where you see him or nothing or it,
yep. Mm-hmm.
Whatever you see, and yeah, it's I don't know. I've heard the decapitation too. That was, I said he decapitated. They never found his head. But how many folklore stories are like that? They got decapitated, never found the head.
So one of the first times I went there were these people like down the road towards the casino. There were these people that were sitting. So if you're heading towards a casino on the left side of the road, there's an opening to like an old cow field, I guess. But they say I chatted with them one time. They come out on the weekends. They don't live far away, and they say that they see apparitions of buffalo and a lot of livestock that have passed on, and that area is
native reserve.
It's a reserve. Is it Iroquois or
I don't know.
I can't remember, but so there were, there's a lot of stuff going back, going back hundreds of years. So quite interesting, but it's the stuff that isn't about the motorcycle. There's I've got pictures. There's a farmer. So as you're coming up to the rock, where the rock is, Derek.
Yeah.
You and I think it's called what's that road called?
I don't want to give out the name of the road, but
yeah, that's right.
There is a place on the other side of Toronto that has the same name.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, anyway, good hint, by the way. So on that road, that's the exact road. So there's a old wooden fence, and on the other side of that fence, we got an image of somebody holding a pitchfork,
right,
and wearing coveralls, suspenders, and so we call him the farmer. Then as you go up where the rock is, and you start heading towards the casino, there's an area where there's these trees, and they're poplars. There's 3 of them, and they're kind of in an interesting position because there are no other poplars there, and there's a tall poplar and 2 smaller poplars. So it's turns out it's representative of some spirits. So if you park your car there, okay, you might have a problem starting it. I had my car parked there. We lost we had brand new batteries going out, for our cameras and flashlights and everything. Everything died. Everything died. The lights on my car were dead. We could hear this shuffling going on. So, and it's all around these 3 trees. So what we've found in some of the, again, some of the pictures we got, there's 2 apparitions of, some children. And then there's this one, it's a little boy with this ball cap. We think it's a red ball cap. I guess one of the psychics came up with that. But we were out there, and like in late August when there's dew and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's dark now, right? So the dew's. So if you were to put your hand on the car, it would leave a dry spot where your hand is.
Mm-hmm.
So we heard all this shuffling going on, and my car wouldn't start. And then I go and I shut and I go to look under the hood, and I could see all these handprints along my car. Little kid handprints right around the car. We were like freaked out.
Yeah.
So there's, and I could go on and on. Honestly, we've been up there, I think, about 7 times to just kind of see if we could capture the same data over and over. And there is a entity up there we call Mary, and she seems to protect the kids from the farmer. So I'm not sure what the whole story connection is there, but it's pretty interesting.
That area's always had some bad stuff happening in it, like from Port Perry to Blackstock. Blackstock, there was 2 kids found, and they were, I think, one was a preteen and one was a teen. Yeah, and they were still in cribs, but their cribs had like a chicken coop around it. And that's where they lived. It's like they still live somewhere in Durham region, and they've adjusted. But yeah, man, there's been always wacky stuff that happens out that way.
Yeah.
Well, in Port Perry, you hear a lot of these stories from farms around the town, and they even have that pub right in town. That's supposed to be very haunted.
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times.
I have too.
And I mean, I don't know. I don't get the vibe, but it's possible. Like there's a thing called transient apparitions and or ghosts, and what they do is they take a path, and sometimes they go right through your house, right? Because in their time, if it's from a different period, your house didn't exist.
Yeah.
So your house could have been a trail or just a pathway, right?
Right.
So is that kind of like multi-dimensional type of thing? Is that
yeah, exactly. And I had a meeting one time with the ghost team at my place, at my old house, and which was built in 2004. So there's no history there. However, there was an old stone farmhouse in the area, and now it's all developed and everything. But one of the psychics, Jessica, said to me, she said, well, she was more of a Wiccan, actually, I think. But she said to me, she said, like, you've got a lot of transients coming through here. So we did this little experiment where she said, do you have any dolls, like kids' toys and that, put them out, see if they've moved, right? So, but you know what, though? I mean, they're completely harmless. I mean, you might catch a glimpse or something.
See it right here? Just
out
of view.
Yeah, I mean, that happens. I mean, you can have more direct experiences as well, right? Like it's
a ghost or a spirit or whatever it is energy, right? Like some type of electricity, which we all have in our body, right? We all have electricity. We all react to electricity. So would it not be true? Like, I know a lot of people who go to Drummond Cemetery. Is that the one in Hamilton or Niagara?
Yeah.
Sorry, Niagara.
Drummond.
And they're like, oh, I feel stuff. But if everything's dead in there's no electricity in there for the spirits to gather, right? Wouldn't they rather be around humans?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Like, again, this is my opinion, If you're into this stuff, please challenge.
Yeah.
But I believe that cemeteries don't bother me whatsoever, because I don't believe,
It's just where the body
unless
goes.
you died in the cemetery,
Mhm.
you're more apt to be around your place of death, right? Or going back to your home, something where there's a connection. There's rarely a connection to a cemetery, right? So these people that say, well, I see somebody. I mean, it is possible that if you're at the cemetery, that because however you want to look at it, but let's say you give off the same sort of aura or light. If your light is near that, cemetery, headstone, whatever, then it's possible you might see something, but it's only because you're there, right? They have no reason to go back to their mortal body, which is in a box or it's cremated, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's usually things that happen in buildings or whatever. Like I got a buddy, he's let's say he's very sensitive to that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and he cannot go into a hospital. He said when he goes in a hospital, he starts to hear and feel all this stuff, and he said it's just so creepy. I gotta leave. I can't stay in the building.
Yeah.
Just hospitals. Yeah, they just mess them up. So
I have a picture of an old psych hospital, and there's clearly
The Oshawa one?
No. Actually, I tried to get into that one time, and
I got into it a couple times.
Roadblocked on it, but
oh shit,
there was still gurneys and everything in it.
Yeah,
Yeah?
it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the morgue was like, it was kind of
Hey,
weird.
Sean. And Derek, Richard, thanks for that comment, by the way. So old man saying that spirit doesn't leave the body at the cemetery, nor is it looking for the comfort of it. Exactly. In fact, many of those are lost, right? So they don't even know they're dead potentially. But there's a lot of speculation on and theories, I suppose. What I will say,
but you know what?
Yep.
This is a very cool topic. Every time we get onto these little waivers, a lot of people spike their interest. Everybody seems to like this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
we should.
Everybody's had a ghost experience or knows somebody who's had some kind of experience.
Not even a ghost experience, but an experience they can't explain.
Yeah.
Right?
Like,
you see something or feel something.
Shoulder.
Yeah. So you know what? It would be cool if you want to try and resurrect some of your old equipment. We can maybe have some fun with it. And
we certainly could. I think what I've learned though is that because we did have a problem. This is how creepy it gets. Sean's saying that the smells are creepy, and he's absolutely right. Like, well, he's talking hospitals, which but you can. There's a lot of things you can experience, right? You can't record smell, unfortunately. But
I have one little thing that happened to me. I used to go and clean gravestones, right? And I used to look for like World War I gravestones. And I would go and clean when I lived in Brooklyn, because where I was, there was a lot of cemeteries in the area.
Yeah.
Right.
So one day I was riding, and my thing is I would go and I would smoke one at the cemetery and walk around, right?
Sure.
So I put my bike beside a tree, and I smelt something, and to me it smelled like a pipe, right?
Yep.
And I followed that smell, and it took me to a World War I private. And you could barely see his stone anymore. It had sunk in, right? And it had been all moldy, and I went and cleaned it. And I was like, shit, the smell brought me to him. But I don't know if it was just because I had that year, I probably cleaned about 20 of them. And it's like, hey,
I'm here.
Smell I want mine clean.
I'm here under the ground. That's a possibility. There's probably some other significance to that. But you mentioned about smell. It was probably and there's no science to this yet, but typically if somebody passes, from my experience, it takes about a year And I don't know if it's like you see on Beetlejuice where people have to get processed, right? But it takes about a year for you to start seeing signs. So I wonder if there's some kind of, protocol in the afterlife that they have to learn about. But we were talking about my dad earlier, who passed a year ago tomorrow, and I guess it was about a year after he had passed, and he used to walk. I was living in Curtis, and he used to walk the dogs, and he looked like Inspector Gadget a bit. He'd wear a long trench coat and a fedora, and he smoked like a chimney, right? So, but he had only been in my place, I think, once or twice before he passed. And there was we lived in Legoland, so there was a basketball court behind our yard. So he used, the couple of times he'd been out there, he'd walk the dogs back there and have a smoke in the middle of the night. So I got up at 3 a.m., which I often do. Yeah. And I heard a basketball. So I went out, looked out my back window, and I could see the back of someone sitting on a park bench, with a trench coat and a fedora with a dog leash. And smoke coming up, right? So
50s, right?
Oh no, this is freaking me out, right? So I nudge my wife and I'm like, "Oh, you got to check this out." And then she gets up, and the window's like right there, so not a lot of time's passed. Nothing except smoke, right, from the cigarette, and nothing else. No dog leash, nothing. Didn't hear any dogs out there, nothing.
Wow.
So I just had this feeling, though, that it was kind of a sort of a peaceful feeling, right? So, but anyway, how do you prove that, right? I mean, Ringo's full of shit. Well, I've been to enough of these places and got enough on different types of media that I believe it exists, right? All of that in different forms, and you sort of, and sometimes they'll come through in ways that you might understand and other people don't, right?
See, so, I don't understand any of that. But what I used to do is not on my dad's death day, but on his birthday, right? I used to go to his tomb in the cemetery, or his gravestone, and I'd sit there and I would have a beer with him.
Yeah.
Right. That was just my little thing I did, right? I'd go out there. Sometimes I was sitting in the snow, freezing cold. Sometimes it was nice out, but I would go out in December and I'd have a beer with my dad.
Yeah. And, that's cool.
And one time I had this feeling. It was just bizarre, and I can't describe it. I don't know what I felt, but I felt like there was something there. Actually, it's right down the street from your house, Ringo.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, Salem.
It's Salem, yeah.
Yeah, you guys both know where that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, my parents are there, so.
Wow. You know, that Salem graveyard is interesting because you come up over the hill and your lights on your car hit the stones, the marble stones, and so you see lights everywhere. But I remember the Code and I don't know, we did a lot of crazy things back then, but we were driving through there and I started to slow down and I'm like, "Hey, Terry, did you see that?" And, he's like, "I'm freaked out, man. We gotta go." But he's pretty open-minded to stuff like that, right? But
and you know what's weird? When we were in our late teens, early 20s, we used to go there. We used to live in Ajax, and we would drive up, 2 or 3 cars. We'd get the girls up and whatever, have some drinks, and we would drive up to Salem.
Yep.
And I would drive, and I would stop the car on the road, just on the high spot of the hill, right? Because it had a slight grade to it, and then it dips down, right? And what we used to do is we'd just play hide and seek and just be goofy ass kids, because we had the cemetery was right there on the road, right?
Yeah.
And then what I used to do sometimes, I'd sneak back to the car, quietly get in the car, put it in neutral, let the car roll down the hill, and the car would disappear. And then everyone would come out after playing hide and seek, and the cars are gone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I never thought my parents would wind up there, but I used to hang out there when I was younger. It's just so bizarre.
So there was something interesting when I drove by there. I could see somebody out, and this is late. This is after the bars closed, and I could see somebody out there holding something, and it looked like a shovel.
Yeah.
So, and it was like a dark image, and I was driving by, and I don't drink and drive, so I mean that wasn't the issue, but it really didn't dawn on me at the moment, and then I got to 7, and I was like, wait a minute, did I just see somebody back there? So I drove back because now I'm curious, right? I was by myself too, so I mean that takes some cojones to do that. I think most people would say, "Nah, I'm out here." But
keep going.
I'm curious about that, right? So, what's a ghost going to do, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, nobody's there, right? So I decided, okay, I'm going to head on. So a friend of mine, we were at whatever, and I don't know how we got into the topic, but their friend said, "Hey, you know what? They had heard something about a caretaker that had passed, and come back to the cemetery to make sure that things are right." So, so it'd be interesting to find out if there was a caretaker that actually died there, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
But maybe it was just a caretaker who died, and that was he enjoyed being a caretaker, and he went back there.
Yeah, absolutely. Loved his job, that sort of thing. But, and it's funny because some people have, I did a lot of research on just, everything from the topic, but you get into these little sidebar stories where, people who work in cemeteries, they are truly caretakers, right? It's like,
and especially when they work
their children, right?
They work the graveyard shift.
The graveyard shift, waiting for the bell to ring.
Yeah, that's
right. Oh my God!
I think the creepiest one that we ever did though was a house in Oshawa, 100 years old, 100 plus, and in the attic space there was it looked like a little service staircase up to the attic, and the attic, you get in there and there's a big meat hook in the center, and there's a whole bunch of sheets that are all tattered, right? So you go look behind the sheets, and there's crayon or chalk markings from way back that kids were writing on the walls, right? So we spent some time piecing that together, and so we had I think 4 psychics on it, and at the time I was questioning my own skills, so I did my own little. And what I asked the psychics to do, because I didn't want them traveling together, so I would get one of the more technical people or whatever to tag along with a psychic, and then I asked the psychics to not disclose what they saw, but to make notes and put it in an envelope and seal it, so that at the end of the research we can open them up and make sure they're legit. Because you put 2 psychics in a room, all of a sudden they start to play off each other's comments, and it's a lot of BS, I think, anyway. And we had out of the 4 psychics, I think we had 2.5 that were legit. So, but we had this other one I mentioned earlier, Jessica, who was never actually came out on a hunt, but she'd tell us all about it when we got back. So she was probably the most powerful one that I knew.
Wow.
But I mean, she could do amazing stuff. But so this was kind of creepy, because then it's like, well, what's with all of these chalk drawings or whatever they are, and it was a full attic, right? So it was like the sheets were individual rooms, so they were sleeping in the attic, And we're talking like a place that's 100 years old. This might have been like 60 years ago.
Sure.
Look, my dad had 13 kids. He was the oldest of 13.
Yeah.
If you can use the attic space, you're going to use it.
Okay, so, but what happened was, I get all the comments back from the psychics, and it looked like that there was someone who hung themselves there. So what we kind of pieced together, and again, like, very hard to go back in archives to prove, but whoever owned the place was a prominent figure, and we figured, back then, GM would have been, like really at the just kind of organizing and all of that. So they would have had a different sort of authority in town. So they would have had almost like everything from a camp boss to whatever. But what our theory was that there was a woman and an older gentleman who kind of ruled the roost, to the point where there may have been abuse there, and where she hung herself. And we found the area that she had hung herself. I was able to find the plaster where it was all messed up and redone more than once, and it flaked off. So there was so it was clear that there was a piece of rope up there and everything. So it was like, it was like, wow, that was and it was very interesting, because like on the scientific side of it, that was my job, was kind of check it out, maybe debunk it or whatever.
Well, we got to do one time is you need to go and try and dig up some of your old photographs or little videos that you have or whatever.
Yep.
And we'll have a show based on that, and you can show everybody. I think that would be really awesome.
I'll look through the archives and see what I can
find. Yeah, that'd be great.
At the time, we weren't sure what we wanted to do with anything, so we didn't make it public, right? But now it's a different time now, so it'd be interesting to get feedback on it. So, anyhow,
are you still in touch with? You still in touch with any of the people that you used to go out there ghost busting with?
One person, the leader of the group, but I mean, he's into meditation and stuff like that. So he's quite a believer. And it's funny because a lot of people who do that they're driven to seek an answer about maybe an experience they had. So, but I the only thing I would say, like, is if you're going to get into that, you'll see on a lot of the TV programs, be respectful. And
absolutely.
I always thought it was very hypocritical for someone who goes to a church to not believe in ghosts, because essentially what you're doing is you're setting up a session, right? So,
well, look what Old Man wrote. There you go.
Right.
Get a little deep.
Yeah, it's a bit late for that.
Yeah,
all night.
We'll save that one till next time. But
but that's where you can take these kind of conversations, right? If you start talking about that and go,
and we can, I'm sure we can tie it back to flat Earth somehow. So
it's all because of the reptilians,
the aliens,
reptilians.
Damn reptilians! I know.
Yeah,
extraterrestrials.
Absolutely.
On the other side of the Arctic wall.
Yes.
I think
where else would they be?
Yeah, they run Pizzagate.
You better wrap it up.
Yeah. Woo.
I think they're all being controlled out of George's studio.
Yeah, George is controlling the reptilians from the electric ballroom.
Hey, listen, there's a light that comes on here of its own volition. There's a light every now and again. It turns itself on. I've told you this stuff before.
And George, when is the electric ballroom?
Atomic.
Yes.
It's only been 3 or 4
We're not electronic. We're not even supersonic. We are atomic. Switch to Twitch every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. I'll see you then. You can drop in and tune out as we take a trip across those dance floors and those decades.
Wow, you got that.
Wow, you got that down. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Well, you guys got any last words you want to throw out there?
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say that I am still not saying I'm a flat earther,
Right.
Yeah.
but it's got me thinking.
Yes.
Jake from Saskatoon says
Jackie.
she definitely believes in ghosts.
Yeah. Me
Jake.
too. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Jackie.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Ronan
All right,
back
boys.
to
So
Yeah.
good,
Well,
good,
I would just like to say, stay positive and keep negative.
All right.
Wow. That's
And
pretty
stay
deep
dancing,
there,
my
George.
friends.
That's pretty
And
deep.
whatever you do, wherever you go, whoever you're with, whoever's watching, whoever's listening, whoever's telling you what to do, always, 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 always stay dancing, my friends.
Who's Mr. Haney now?
Hey, so do we have a guest next week or no?
I think it's the week after. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll find somebody in between now and next week, and we'll get on. But
All right, stay tuned,
I
folks.
believe
We
we have Steve penciled in. It's
Yes.
not 100% confirmed yet, but we got Steve Hogue again penciled in for I think it's the 24th.
Okay.
I wonder how that'd be interesting to see how they're doing right now with,
Yeah.
you know,
The restrictions again.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I was definitely.
Well, isn't there a new variant coming from Cyprus now? Is that the latest one? That's what I heard.
Cyprus, really? Wow.
There's another one now.
Yeah, Cyprus. Yeah.
And you only have to get
Of course,
4
but where
boosters
else would
for
it be
this one?
from? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's taking hits from the bong.
Yeah.
Cyprus
Well,
Hill.
I think again, it's whatever. It's
Yeah.
I think the so-called sheep are probably getting nervous because it's
Yeah.
to
The guy's
me,
got the rubber boots on. They got to be nervous.
no. But oh gosh. To me, the issue is that like with all of the rigid rules, now I'm starting to question this issue about the PCR tests and the fact that there is no. It's really hard to follow now. So anyway, I don't want to get us in Facebook.
No.
Yeah.
Not worth it. No.
Because see, my head just switched. I'm ready to talk, but we can't. We're done.
No.
Yeah. But
Shut her down, Hike.
all right, boys.
Right.
It's been a great show as usual. Thanks for being here. And I want to thank the people that were part of our show tonight, which would be Melanie first. Melanie was first.
Yeah.
Let's see who's going to be first next week.
Yeah.
And then we had Sandra, Richard, Junior, Murph, Gigi, John, Deborah, Spring, Deborah, Olaf, Sean, and Jackie. Thank you so much, all of you, for being a part of our show. And we're going to join you here next Monday night at 9:30 when we get dirty on the Heikadelic Show. See you then, guys.
See,
A week from tonight.
One second, just before you leave.
No.
I just old man here wrote about Dr. Malone, and I believe that's Dr. Robert Malone. He is the one who created the vaccine, right? The mRNA.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw Joe Rogan's podcast with him, but they are like taking him off YouTube. You have to like get it on.
Yeah.
I think Spotify is the only thing. This guy is. I'm going to send it to you guys.
Okay.
If you have time, or if you can watch it drawn out over because it's a 3-hour interview.
Yeah.
Yep.
This guy, he's the man. He's the one who did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you should listen to what he says.
And if you guys want, old man, he's been researching all this stuff since the beginning. And he's got some pretty crazy stuff to tell people too. But the thing is, people got to have an open mind and listen.
Well, maybe we should bring old man on.
I'd like to sometime. I've asked him before. So, old man, if you're listening, get in touch with me. If you want to be a part of our show, we'd love to have you on. It'd be a blast.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. What does your girlfriend say? Oh, man.
Yeah. She doesn't say the 3 words, does she?
Oh, no, I don't want
Oh, man.
George, you have a good week.
Yes.
You too.
All
There
right.
we go.
All right.
We'll
Before
see you
you
guys
go,
next week,
brother.
Monday night at 9:30, right here on the Heikadelic Show. Have a great week, people.
Well, that's another wrap for the Heikadelic Show, folks, so time to get dirty. And don't forget, listen in next week on Monday night and every Monday after that for the Heikadelic Show at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like more information on the Heikadelic Show, please find us at www.theheikedelicshow.com or .ca. We'll see you all next week on the Heikadelic Show. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor for the Heikadelic Show, it's easy. Just send us an email at info@theheikedelicshow.com. Meanwhile, you can browse our website at www.theheikedelicshow.com or .ca. Click on our sponsor tab and find out more information on sponsorships. Thanks for joining the Heikadelic Show, fans.